Whenever you're ready. All right, sister, can you please introduce yourself, your name, your age, and where you from originally, and tell us your addiction story?
Yes, hi, my name is Kristen. I grew up in Chalfont, Pennsylvania. It's a 1 by 1 square mile city, or town, and situated in, like, central Bucks. I grew up there from I was 16 until I was 13. We moved to North Carolina for a couple years in a small town called Harker's Island, the very southernmost tip of the Outer Banks there. And I was born on June 25th, 1991, to my parents. I have two siblings, my brother and my sister. Unfortunately, my brother is no longer with us. He passed away from an accidental overdose. And my relationship with my parents and with my dad is strained, and my aunt is strained. My mother's living in North Carolina. She's still alive. You know, I haven't really had much contact with them. There's some tension there, so I don't really feel like they're being as supportive as they could be, and it's hard. So their negligence is also, like, you know, like I'm surprised that, you know, my father and my aunt would feel this way about me, you know, considering the circumstances about my brother passing away. You know, it just makes me think. So. Yeah, it makes you have to wonder. He was found dead of an overdose in his apartment in, you know, Bristol. So, like, you know, it doesn't really make sense to me. Like, they're so nonchalant and, you know, about, you know, me being down here. I have no choice because, like, you know, from what I get from Social Security, it's not really enough to cover rent and expenses and stuff. So, but I can rent a room and look for it. But there's a lot of weird people out here. So, but I'm making it work, so. Well, when I was younger, I was very neglected and abused. My parents were very, harsh. They were very cruel to me. They took a lot of their cruelty, like, out on me, you know. I'm the oldest of three. They were physically and emotionally, verbally, all kinds of abusive. And again, I got the brunt of it. And when I was younger, my mother got frustrated. My father was out at work, and it's really hard for me to talk about this because once I make this known, people may not look at me the same. But when I was younger, my mother got frustrated with me, and she beat me over the head with a footstool. And so, like, I wasn't the same after that. And I was like, I remember that, and she'll deny it never happened, but. Yeah, but it happened, and, you know, it does affect my day-to-day life. Oh yeah.
Continue.
But I love this area. It's like, you know, but yeah, she hit me over the head with one of those blue plastic footstools that kids used to, you know, step up on and brush your teeth. And again, like I said, I wasn't the same out of it, and I'm living with the repercussions of that in my day-to-day life. Like, it's hard for me to follow direction and stuff like that. So I had a brain scan done at the Aiming clinics in Reston, Virginia. The guy who's like, heal your brain, heal your life, and they did brain scans, and they found evidence of 18 of, you know, blunt force trauma to my prefrontal cortex, my parietal lobe, and my temporal lobes, which are over here. So, and anyone who knows me, like, now that they know this, would be able to see it. If they looked into it, they see evidence of how it affects my day-to-day functioning. And, you know, it's led to me being homeless, and, you know, I'm on Social Security, and, you know, it's just hard. Like, it's just hard out here. But I started using drugs because, you know, they helped me be able to, like, not feel like, you know, the neglect and the loneliness that my parents let me feel. They always made a point to single me out and make me feel like I didn't belong, and, like, you know, it hurts. I mean, drugs also is the physiological aspect of it, how it makes, you know, the dopamine stuff, how it makes you feel good. So I also have this thing called an MTHFR deficiency, which the government needs to make people more aware about. It presents clinically as addiction, but, you know, it's your body's ability to not be able to process folic acid properly, And so your body can't produce dopamine, serotonin, and norepinephrine, and amongst other neurotransmitters correctly. And so you should look into this. And so, like, your body, once your body gets a taste of, like, something that creates dopamine, because its ability to create it is impaired, there you go. And it's actually one of the most common human genetic conditions, but you never hear of this. And like I really would like people to look into this and find out about this, because a lot of people are living with this and they're not even aware of it. It's actually like driving people to get high, and like it presents clinically as addiction, but it's really your body's inability to process folic acid. Now, I take something called methylated folate, which is a form of B9, which is like a form of folic acid, and like I've noticed this difference in my cognitive abilities and stuff like that. But I want people to be aware of this thing. The government is not like making people aware of this, despite the fact that it's not. It's a very common medical condition. I think that but. I always, thought that, people should be aware of this type of thing. Like, how is the government not making people aware of this? Or it not be more common knowledge? It's government. People making money off of it. The government, making money off the substance abuse treatment and stuff. It's all healthcare stuff. That's exactly what it is. But currently, I have an emotional support bunny named Mr. Bailsworth. He's my best friend. I miss him so much. I haven't seen him in a year, and I would love nothing more to be able to have him and spend time with him. I'm down here because I'm homeless. I'm staying with someone, right now. But I don't have any permanent home or a place where I can call him and be safe. And I just want to be with my bunny, because people are just like, they take advantage, I've been raped out here, they take advantage of me, they rob me, they take advantage of my situation, it's disgusting, and I just never seem to be able to gain traction. I just and my family had their part in ruining my credit, and I miss my bunny a lot. He's a white Holland lot, he's blind in one eye, and I miss him so much, but my current situation is pretty much hopeless. It's hopeless. I'm just gonna my brother passed away. I don't have his support. My family's just negligence, has ended up with me being out here. So I don't know what's gonna happen from here. And all I know is I just want my bunny to be happy, and he's happier with me. He's pretty cool. He's able to ride with me in cars outside his carriers. I put a towel down and lay on his side. He's, uber friendly. He's very, personable.
What happened to him?
He's with my aunt right now in Huntington Valley. My aunt has him, but they're kind of holding him as leverage for me. He's not cool. But if I had the ability to have a place of my own where I can, if someone helped me manage my money and stuff like that, and have my bunny, I'd be so happy. And that's all I need. He works better than any medication. He's the only unconditional love I have in my life. I have income, Social Security,
When you don't have that money, how do you support your habit? Or when that money is gone?
I'm forced to do things like, dates with men and stuff like that, and, it's not something I want to do, or, I don't want to steal from places, it's just not my style, or people help me out. Sometimes you come across people who help you out, and when I have it, they have it, I'm known for that, but I help people out when they need it, come across people who are sick, and hit my thing, and they get better, I'm good for that much, but.
What are all your addictions?
My addictions?
All your addictions.
What about all of them? It's just fentanyl and just fentanyl. I do ice because I have ADD and I don't have it. I had a prescription for Adderall since 13, and I can't get it because I can't afford it. I can't see the end play. You know how they are, and so I use ice, but it's few and far. I don't really use ice as often as I used to, but meth. Actually, like, I was taking Xanax for anxiety because I have diagnosed anxiety and stuff like that. And when I was no longer able to access it because I wasn't able to see my doctor, I started using dope as a means to help with my nerves. And so it helps with my anxiety, keeps me calm, and it just kind of provides me with a sense of, like, calmness and, like, anxiety relief that, helps me keep me able to function without, like, panicking and stuff like that. Because when I'm in that, like, I tend to make irrational decisions and based off emotion rather than, what's best for me. So, and if I were able to see a doctor to be able to get back on my medication, because I was taking Adderall for the ADHD and Xanax for my anxiety. I actually was doing well. I wasn't using. I never had the desire to use because my anxiety and everything was all, and I was regulated and stuff like that. I never abused them. Because I understand the drug itself. Like, so when I was cut off the medication because I couldn't afford to see my doctor anymore, I went through withdrawal because I was taking Xanax for a year, that really sucked. And so I started using the fentanyl. Started using the fentanyl as a means to help with the anxiety because I didn't know any other way. But because I can't find a doctor or find anyone who's willing to help me with getting back on my medications. And because when I was taking them, I was actually on a forward trajectory. I was regulated. It was normal. I was looking for work and stuff like that. And so that was a huge setback when I lost the ability to stop seeing my doctor in July. I need help with finances and the ability to get back on my medication. When I was taking my medication, I was functional and not even thinking of getting high. I was working out, going to the gym. I like weightlifting. And I haven't done that in a year. And I was really big into that. I want to be with my buddy. I want to be living by myself in a room or something, safe. So, like, I have a place of my own, and my buddy can be with me. And
Do you have kids?
I have a son named Jacob.
Where is your son currently?
He is currently my dad's ex-wife. And I want him to know that I love him very much. And I hope that one day I'd be able to have a relationship with him.
Yes.
I'm staying with somebody, I was actually on my way to the bus, to go back there, hopefully, and go, but if need be, I can go to a shelter. But I have an emergency blanket if need be. It sucks, but what can you do? And you gotta do what you gotta do. I got emergency blankets, I got gloves and stuff. Not on me right now, but I can go get them.
All the stuff that you have been through in your life, what lessons have you learned from it?
At the end of the day, the only person you have that's watching your back is yourself. And stay in drugs, eat your school, and don't do vegetables.
All right. What are you afraid of in life? What are all your fears?
My fears: dying alone and having a painful death. Not having a relationship with my son, and I just wouldn't, I'm afraid of my bunny. Like, he's disabled. He had a rough upbringing too. Like, I rescued him, and just him not being around for him, not being able to have a place, support myself, and be able to self-sufficient, mostly.
All right. What regrets do you have in your life?
Regrets. I don't really have a lot of regrets. Everything here is like a victim of circumstance, but I can't really say a lot of regrets. Getting high, but I think that was something that was in my future, and it was meant to be, I think. But all I can do is just take this and learn a lesson from it, use it to make me stronger, and I just need to use it. I need help with resources and, being able to have people to help me be able to get myself in a position where I want to be, which is a place of my own and like self-sufficient in my body and I can take care of myself. I just need help getting a place.
Do you have an email if people want to reach out to you to help you? Spell your email.
KristenMarieMost@gmail.com. KristenMarieMost @gmail.com.
What are your short-term goals?
My short-term goals, try to find, like, maybe if I have to, find a shelter. I really want to start getting back into weightlifting, but because of my wrist, I can't. So I'm trying, and then start eating healthier, start eating more protein. Trying to, finance my, manage my finances better. I want to see my body, I just need to talk to someone about my finances and stuff like that, and what I can do to optimize them.
Okay.
And getting help with getting my stuff together. Getting myself off the fentanyl.
What advice will you give to the teenagers about drugs?
Oh man, I mean it's everywhere and it's normalized, and it's like it's more about harm reduction these days. Like it's around, like you can tell them don't do drugs, but everyone else so it's like harm reduction. Be safe out there. I can't really. People are gonna do what they're gonna do. So looking at harm reduction and trying to be safe about what you do.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Kristen. Right, Kristen. Kristen, thank you for your time, love. I appreciate you being honest with us, and we pray that your story encourage someone and they won't come down this road. And we're rooting for you. You're beautiful. You're love. And you matter. Don't never forget that, right, love?
Thank you.
And AML family, keep our sister in your prayers. Remember, y'all, don't be bitter, be better. Anything else you would like to add before we close?
No, that's it.
That's it, fam.
I love you, Jacob, and I love my bunny, and hopefully things will get better.